Ladies and gentlemen, I got to give Texas yet another L. Houston produces some of the worst stories. But again, this story is actually going to be an update. So if you have seen this before, don't be surprised. It's on my channel. Go back and watch my original commentary on this. We're going to always advocate for our babies. And we're going to talk about this beautiful angel that you guys see on my screen, how she met her demise. And I want to know, and I want you guys to know, that we are still pushing for maximum justice, because minimalist stuff is just not going to work. Let me give you guys a disclaimer about my content. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And we're getting this story from KHOU, which is khouston.com. So if you're listening, thank you for the article. A man who killed his 2-year-old daughter. So he's the biological father of this little girl. He killed his daughter while FaceTiming her mother, which is just a very, very deep level of evil, just a hateful person. He FaceTimed her mother and grandfather, and he was convicted of capital murder, which capital murder, I believe, is the most serious charge because it's premeditated. You had evil intention with malice, all of that good stuff. Jurors deliberated for hours before returning the verdict in the trial of Deon Trey, it's spelled exactly how it sounds, Flanagan, Flanagan, in downtown Houston. Now, the little angel that you guys saw, let me get her face back up on the screen right here. Her name is Zevaya, Zevaya. Last name Flanagan, the same as her father. She was an adorable 2-year-old girl with a bubbly personality, pigtails, and an endearing smile. And that's that smile right there on the right-hand side of the screen. That man couldn't deny this little girl if he wanted to. He looks a lot like her. But let me tell you guys the story. So back in March of 2023, so this is actually an update. Now, this story, again, occurring back on March of 2023, the Houston toddler's life came to a horrifying end as her mother and grandfather watched helplessly on FaceTime. I just don't know how they were able to deal with that, because that is just the most heinous thing ever, to watch your baby, your heart and soul, the future, die at the hands of the man that helped bring her into this world, and this fool had nerve enough to stream it. Dumb enough. Like, that is just a level of dumb that you just don't hear very often. He is just a different level of stupid. Prosecutor said that Lil Savea was strangled and beaten by her father, DeAndre Flanagan, during a 45-minute police chase. During the first day of testimony on Wednesday, jurors saw video inside a deputy squad car during the chase. Savea's mother, by the name of Kirsten Watson, was screaming and pleading with Flanagan to stop hurting their daughter. At one point, she said, "He's killed her. He's killing her." And you just got to feel bad for her, man. I know in her mind she was probably like, "What did I do?" Watson told KHOU 11 in 2023. "Why are you doing this to me? Like, I love you. Why are you hurting me?" Harris County Sheriff's Office tried to pull Flanagan over, but he kept going. Now, during the chase that followed, Zavea, who wasn't in the car seat or buckled in, was tossed around in the car. Defense attorneys claim that that's what caused her fatal injuries. Defense attorneys, so again, that's on his side, but of course we know that that's bullshit, right? We know that's bullshit. Curtis Watson said they tried to reason with Flanagan on the phone and hoped that he would come to his senses. But then he showed me the lifeless corpse of my granddaughter, and that's from the grandfather, Curtis. I wouldn't wish that on anyone, to have to go through that type of anguish and pain. A SWAT team eventually arrested Flanagan after a standoff. Zavea, the little girl, was airlifted to Memorial Hermann, but she died at the hospital. You may have taken last breath, but you cannot kill her spirit, her memory, or her name. That's the way they wrote it. I'm sorry, I know I read that wrong, but that was the way that they actually wrote it. Now, before the case went to jury, there were some scary moments outside the courtroom. During a break-in testimony at the Harris County Family Law Center, DeAndre Flanagan, this fool, was walking in the hallway in plain clothes. His hands were free, but his ankles were shackled. Flanagan lunged at the news people photojournalist camera. Isn't that crazy? Causing the camera to tip back. So he tried to attack the cameraman. If that ain't a level of stupid, I don't know what is. Now, several Harris County Sheriff's officers quickly tackled him and handcuffed him. The photographer is okay, of course. I mean, whatever. He's fine. Jurors will begin deliberating Flanagan's sentence on Monday, so we hope that with Texas law, maybe he'll get the death penalty, but we'll have to see. We'll have to wait on that, so we might do one more small update, but I might actually just insert that in the video if we don't have to do another full update on this, because there's not a lot more information. We know what happened. We know what he did. I think he needs to be in hell as quickly as possible, because I think pieces of crap like this don't deserve to keep breathing our atmosphere, let alone taxpayer dollars keeping him alive in prison. I just don't think he deserves that. Let me give you guys a fair warning about my, fair usage about the news videos, and then we'll go from there. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. If you guys would do me a favor and please click that thumbs up to show support for this video. If nothing else, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. I don't know if y'all have ever heard this story before. If this is your first time, definitely, let's participate in this conversation, because believe it or not, the more we get involved in this algorithm, the more that we can spread these stories, okay? Listen to these news videos. Here we go.
At 5 o'clock, here's what happened. Scary moments outside the courtroom where a Houston man is on trial for murdering his 2-year-old daughter. Just a few hours ago, during a break in the case at the Harris County Family Law Center, watch this. DeAndre Flanagan lunges at our photojournalist camera. Take a look at the video. Here's the deal. Our photographer says Flanagan was coming from the court in leg shackles but no handcuffs when he went for his camera, knocking it to the side. You see what happened. Deputies quickly put Flanagan on the ground right.
And I want y'all to think about this. Even though this man did the most heinous thing ever, which is to heinously murder your own child, they still tried to give this NIGGA some level of dignity by not having his hands handcuffed, having his hands free. I'm not going to blame the police or the courts for that. I understand that they still want to try to instill some level of decorum, but it's just sometimes just some people just don't deserve any decorum at all, in my humble opinion. And I think that this is one of them, but let's keep going.
Now we're waiting to find out if he'll face additional charges. In the meantime, we can tell you our photographer is okay. And as it relates to the case, the jury is now deliberating.
Today, the start of the trial of DeAndre Flanagan, charged in the murder of his 2-year-old daughter, Zavea. The case goes back to March 20th, 2023. That's when prosecutors say Flanagan was upset with his girlfriend and mother of Zavea, Kirsten Watson, believing she was seeing another man. Lawyers say Flanagan pulled Zavea out of daycare, went to Watson's place of work, took her cell phone, and drove off with the child. Harris County Sheriff's deputies tracked the mom's phone to find Flanagan, who then led them on a chase. That ended in a standoff and arrest. Zavea was taken to a hospital and pronounced dead. The most intense evidence shared with the jury today, video of Watson inside a deputy squad car during the pursuit. Watson is on a FaceTime call with Flanagan and pleads for Flanagan to stop harming Zavea. At one point heard saying, "He's killed her, he's killing her." Members of the jury were also shown screenshots of the FaceTime call. Prosecutors say Flanagan allegedly hit Zavea with a blunt object and choked her. Now, witnesses who spoke today included Zavea's grandmother, law enforcement officers, and the trauma surgeon who examined Zavea when she arrived at the hospital back in March of 2023. Prosecutors told us that they expect this trial to last about a week. For now, reporting live downtown, Victor Jacobo, KHOU 11 News.
Extremely difficult details to hear in that testimony. Victor Jacobo tonight, thank you. Now this testimony in the capital murder trial of DeAndre Flanagan happening now.
Yeah, prosecutors say he killed his 2-year-old daughter during a police chase last year while the child's mother watched in horror over the phone during a FaceTime call.
Victor Jacobo is live at the Harris County Family Law Center. Victor, we understand you were the only TV news reporter inside the courtroom today. Walk us through what happened here.
Yeah, Mia, that's absolutely right. It was an emotional day for this first start of this trial that included opening statements. Our cameras were only allowed to get a little bit of video recorded of a break in the proceedings, but I was inside this courtroom for the rest of the day as this trial continued. This is the latest stage in the search for justice for 2-year-old Zendaya Flanagan. Today, the start of the trial of DeAndre Flanagan, charged in the murder of his 2-year-old daughter, Zavea. The case goes back to March 20th, 2023. That's when prosecutors say Flanagan was upset with his girlfriend and mother of Zavea, Kirsten Watson, believing she was seeing another man. Lawyers say Flanagan pulled Zavea out of daycare, went to Watson's place of work, took her cell phone, and drove off with the child. Harris County Sheriff's deputies tracked the mom's phone to find Flanagan, who then led them on a chase. That ended in a standoff and arrest. Zavea was taken to a hospital and pronounced dead. The most intense evidence shared with the jury today, video of Watson inside a deputy squad car during the pursuit. Watson is on a FaceTime call with Flanagan and pleads for Flanagan to stop harming Zavea. At one point heard saying, "He's killed her, he's killing her." Members of the jury were also shown screenshots of the FaceTime call. Prosecutors say Flanagan allegedly hit Zavea with a blunt object and choked her. Now, witnesses who spoke today included Zavea's grandmother, law enforcement officers, and the trauma surgeon who examined Zavea when she arrived at the hospital back in March of 2023. Prosecutors told us that they expect this trial to last about.
And tonight, justice for a little girl killed while her father led deputies on a 45-minute chase all across Harris County.
DeAndre Flanagan was convicted of capital murder today after family members say he strangled his daughter while on FaceTime with her mother and grandfather during a jealous rage. Matt Doherty was in the courtroom as the jury read the verdict, and tonight he has reaction from the little girl's mother and grandfather. Matt.
We saw the killer's rage on full display this afternoon outside of the courtroom in the hallway when he went after one of our photojournalists. Take a look. Luckily, photojournalist Mark Lawyer says he only jammed a finger during the defendant's outburst in the hallway of the courthouse this afternoon. Although DeAndre Flanagan's ankles were shackled by leg irons, his hands were allowed to be free during the trial so as not to prejudice the jury. Nonetheless, it took jurors less than 2 hours to convict Flanagan, finding him guilty of killing his 2-year-old daughter.
And I told him that he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison, which that's where he's going to be.
Curtis Watson says he always tried to give Flanagan the benefit of the doubt when he was dating his daughter Kirsten. Later, the couple had a baby girl, Zavea. But the dad says the relationship wasn't working, and Flanagan told Watson he wanted to start seeing other women. Not long after that, Curtis Watson says Flanagan showed up and started going through his daughter's phone and became enraged when he learned she was talking to other men. On March 21st, 2023, Flanagan picked up 2-year-old Zavea from daycare, then went to the Walmart where Kirsten worked. He allegedly attacked her, took her phone, and sped off with their dog. Later, Flanagan called Kirsten and Curtis Watson on FaceTime. The grandfather and mother of the girl watched in horror as Flanagan strangled Zavea right before their eyes, as police were chasing him.
Although her life is gone, she still lives on in us every day.
Kirsten Watson asked that we not show her face when she spoke with us about her daughter tonight.
She was my best friend and not just my daughter. Her smile could light up anyone's darkest days.
Curtis Watson shared some of the victim impact statement he read to Flanagan after the verdict.
He rewarded us by hurting and killing my granddaughter Zavea. You might have taken her last breath, but you cannot kill her spirit, her memory, or her name.
Tonight, a deputy brought Flanagan the change of clothes he'll be wearing from now on. Curtis Watson says Flanagan is pure evil, and he's grateful the man who killed his granddaughter is exactly where he's supposed to be. In downtown, I'm Matt Doherty, KHOU 11 News.
In closing, at this point, after all of this time, and you see the way that he came out and attacked the cameraman, just lets you know this level of evil cannot be fixed. It cannot be rehabilitated. It doesn't have pity or remorse. Shout out to Tommy, by the way. But this type of person is just absolutely worthy of being on death row. He does not deserve to have his sentence commuted or anything like that to make it to where he's not on death row and then he could just sit in prison for life. That's pure evil. Like Princella said earlier, a rabid dog, and I absolutely agree with her on that. And guess what we got to do with rabid dogs? They need to be put down permanently. This angel deserved every opportunity to grow up and become something great. She's such a beautiful little angel, and I love her smile. And let me get my favorite picture of her up there, which is that one on the right-hand side. Zavea, young princess, R.I.P. I really wish that you could have had a worthy father, and this man was just clearly not. All right, but thank you guys so much for listening with an open mind and an open heart to this story. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this story, or if you have something that maybe we're missing, please let us know. Thank you.